Let's build a birdhouse. Because why not? Okay, the first thing we're going to do, as usual, is set up some perimeters. In this one, I just set up some plywood at ½ inch and the birdhouse depth and width. Again, you don't have to always set up perimeters. In this case, I wanted to in case someone wanted this particular birdhouse to be larger or smaller. So if you think that's going to happen, perimeters are your best friend without a doubt. Alright, just setting up the basic size, width, and height here, and getting it ready to extrude. Again, these sizes don't really matter if you go back and plug in some parameters on the back end as to what those sizes are, or if you connect them through the extrusion phase, which is what I'm going to show you. In previous videos, I've always shown some parameters, but I haven't always applied them because I'll either forget about it or find out the customer is going to be just a one-off and I don't need to change the size of the object. But they're good to have if you put them in and apply them. They come in use all the time. Alright, just setting up some offset or an offset plane through the construction tab so that I can make the front of the birdhouse. Again, you want these to be linked, so once I put this front panel on this front plane, when I connect the sidewalls in a minute, extruded to this particular panel on this plane, they will always be connected and change as I resize the birdhouse should it be required for a future customer. Okay, what we're doing here is we are setting up the bottom panel, which will extrude over to the front panel we made on that previous new offset plane. That way the back panel and front panel will be connected in the event that we change the depth of the birdhouse for someone that wants a different size. So again, you're going to want to select two objects when you extrude, and you want to go to that front object, in this case, of the birdhouse. That way they're connected. The next thing I believe I do on this particular project is set up the pitch for the roof, which I do it a way that not everyone may do. There's different ways to do what I'm about to do, is what I'm getting at, if that's the right way to say it, but I tend to think this is a quick and fun way to do it. So here you see me setting the degrees of the roof that I want this thing to be at for the slope. Something here, you can see I hit P for project on that line. I was trying to connect this line to this line and it wasn't allowing me to select it. So I had to type the letter P on my keyboard, at least in Windows on Fusion 360. I believe it's the same for Mac, and that will project that previous sketch line to where I can grab a hold of it. And as you see here, I'm just connecting all these so that I can extrude them into a cut instead of a new component, which you're about to see. And what this will do is give me the pitch of the roof on both pieces the perfect amount. So when I print this material list, or if you run this through a CNC machine, it will do this exactly as you have it, which is great. And there you have it. So now I have that 23-degree slope or pitch that I need for this particular build. And so from here, you would just click on the top and rinse and repeat, draw the roof. But I do something here a little bit different that I don't always do. Okay, so what we're doing here is we are doing the roof, and I'm going to use something a little different in Fusion 360 in that I'm going to do math in the actual cell when it comes to the depth here. So as you can see, I'm typing in the birdhouse depth, and then I'm going to add 3 inches for like an overhang roof, or maybe I did 4 inches, I'm not sure, but you can do the math as I just did within the cell. I put in a plus sign and added how many inches I wanted to extend it, and there you have it. It gives you that overhang. And the reason you do it that way is so that if you go back and change some of the perimeters, that overhang always is going to be there because you set it to be 3 inches plus the distance of that perimeter. Okay, what we're doing here is just some simple fillets. This is not necessary, just kind of a why not. And you can actually have your CNC machine or router this manually once you get to this particular part. Okay, now that we have the roof done, we can put the sidewalls in. And the reason we did it in this order is because we're actually going to extend the side panels up to the roof face. That way, if the depth of the birdhouse changes, the walls will change with it, and also they will maintain the slope of the roof, which you will see. This is a nice feature again in Fusion 360 that will help you out a lot, because it will automatically give you that slope on the panel, which you're about to see. All right, and what do you know? There you have it. It followed the path of the roof line perfectly. Don't have to go back and cut anything out in Fusion 360. Okay, now we're just setting some construction lines to get the perfect center of this front panel so that we can set the hole in the middle of the birdcage, and we can set a separate hole for the perch, if you will, for the birdhouse as well. So literally all I'm doing here is extruding the opposite way of the surface, the depth of the material to give me that opening. And the perch hole will be a little bit different because we want this essentially a dowel rod to have a piece on the bottom that you can glue in to the front. You don't want to just attach it to the face without any kind of mortise or anything in there, and you really don't want to poke it all the way through if you can avoid it, which I guess you could. It doesn't matter. It's essentially a bird cage, but this will look a lot more professional, and a simple mortised hole here will hold up a bird's weight on this particular item. And the way I'm doing it here is how I typically do it on all of these, but pretty straightforward. Alright, so yeah, all you do is grab that center hole and extrude it into the material. Again, a little bit more math here. I'm going to type in the perimeter I used, which is plywood for the material, and divide it by 2, which will be obviously the half the depth of the material, so that the peg does not stick all the way through the other side. And you can also go through, which I don't think I did in this video, but you can select the dowel rod and the front face and do an object and tool feature, which will separate these out, which I may do on the next video so that you can see that. It just helps when you go to print out your material list if you do the tool feature in Fusion 360. Alright, and there you have it. Now, I didn't raise the bottom floor on this one, which you can do like I did on the front entry of this video, but that's something you can do as well. I am going to add the colors just for a touch, and it also helps with the customer if they want to see a good rendering of what they're going to buy. You can show them a color they may have selected. In this case, I just dropped a green paint and changed the roof and the perch to a different color. They wanted it to be more of a holiday colors kind of look. But anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching.